Welcome to Tent Talk, the podcast with Nancy McCready, where we talk about life under the big tent of God's presence and the provoking process of discipleship. Here we go.
Well, this may end up being the shortest Here We Go episode that I've ever done, because we are definitely on the go. And we are about to open up in real time our second day of Cross Encounter here in Lublin, Poland. And there are 3 churches represented with their core leaders. And it is already shown itself, as we opened up last night, to be, I believe, a very rich and strong place that has been deeply prepared by the Father. Always remember, we are not bringing something that people do not have. They have Him if they're born again. They have Him. They have His life within them. But to be awakened by Holy Spirit to the fact that good is not the goal, and how I'm looking forward this morning to being able to show how Paul knew his flesh very specifically. And he states it in Philippians 3, 4 through 6. He says, if anyone could have confidence and dependence upon their flesh, he said, I am the one who could have the most. And then he lists what he trusted in, what he used to go out and get him what he wanted, what he needed. And this is a part of where we're at in Cross Encounter, is the awakening, the opening to these truths. Because the life that enables us to be alive unto God, dead to sin, right, is His very own life, Zoe life. And that life, right, is to be built and matured. That's why if there are fivefold ministry, whatever terminology we're giving it, is are we about the Father's business of not only maturing His sons, but then being a part of equipping and training to send them out as the Father speaks to them. We're not talking about sending people out where we dictate to them what they will do. No, have you heard Him? What is He saying? What is He showing you? And the best way for that to happen is for the person to mature by the love of the Father, by the ways of the Father. As the person matures, then what He has placed within them will also begin to mature. And I pray to its fullest measure that we would not deny the Father anything, that exactly what it is that He wants with us, right? Remember, Jesus has already accomplished everything. And now some portion of that victory, if you will, has been apportioned to us to gather it up in our generation. And to recognize that the Father says, I want to accomplish this through my sons, together in oneness. The Father doesn't send you out to labor you by yourself. He says, I believe it's at the end of the book of Mark, Jesus says, now you go and I'll be going with you. Like, well, Jesus, you're seated at the right hand of the Father. Like, yes. Yes, but my life is within you. Holy Spirit is within you. And I'll be working with you. Wow. Those are amazing words, because then you begin to realize, oh, we're living in 2 dimensions at the same time. And this is a part of what we have to be awakened to learn as we go, and as we mature, as we ripen, as we continue to allow Him to develop His life within us, His mind within us, that we would see things like He sees them and think like He thinks, and all of those things, they begin to make more sense, and we begin to see them as an unfolding of His life and His story. And just this one last thought I wanted to share. I was recently talking with someone, and they were recognizing that there were some things that they were stretching into. And I said, well, when I work with people, walk with people, I said, I watch to see, are they in the growth pains of stretching and realizing that things they once indulged, that they can't indulge those things anymore as they stretch and grow. I said, now if you snap, it could be an indicator that you're getting beyond your measure, because you don't seem to find as you go the grace for your next depths. Because even though it is difficult and painful and stretching, yes, you're counting the cost again. With every fresh move of God, there is fresh loyalty. You're facing things within yourself. I mean, it is quite, quite a stretch. And then you reach those next levels, could be days or weeks, and you begin to function now in that new depth, whereas maybe a few days before you're like, how is that going to happen? I don't even see how that could possibly be. But you stay with the Father, you let Him do the increasing, you let Him do it. It goes and stretches and stretches. But if you do not go with Him, then what can happen is that you snap and you say, that's it. I think I've reached the end. I don't even know if I want to do this. Not even can I do this. How could this be possible? Or you reach and say, I think the Father is showing me that this is where, not my life with Him, because you can continue to mature as a person, but maybe the measure or the breadth and depth, the scope of what He's put within you for the two of you to do together, the good works that were also chosen beforehand, that you realize maybe this is my lane. This is where I'm to be, and I'll grow here, and I'll continue to let Him deepen me here, right? That'd be like me trying to get everybody to disciple nations. Well, no, they may have some portion of that. They may have a portion greater than me, right? But this is the difference between stretching and letting the Father stretch you, and the difference between stretching and snapping. Because if He has put it within you, my friends, then you have the grace and the ability of Him to live in it. You'll find a fresh and full supply of Him for it. Now that takes discovery. That takes a willingness to go beyond your comfort zone. But we're not talking about getting beyond the measure, the metron that He's put within you. That requires not you drawing the line and deciding, I go this far and no further, but that requires conversation and intimacy with the Father, that He might say to you, I'm going to show you the borders and boundaries of this so that you stay within that lane, and then deepen there, and then bear much fruit there for His glory. So I wanted to share that with you today, that every one of us are being led into new depths. And I believe it will always go further than what we imagined that we were capable of, because it's His ability in us. And He has set our measure and our capacity. But the first capacity that we need to grow into is our capacity for Him. We're being enlarged, if you will, with Him. So be encouraged today as we go into the second day of Cross Encounter here in Lublin, Poland, and watch the Father unfold and guard and protect this work as much as it depends upon us. And the team is amazing. The team of Heather and Fronic, who came in from Krakow to translate for me, for Alex, who is in here from the UK, for Dan and Jan, who this is where they live. This is their home base now. And they are the core producers here that I'm coming alongside them as the Father is establishing them, strengthening. And this is where, even as you give in this season of the NMM Year in Giving Initiative, where we are watching the Father bring in the provision, the funds, the revenue, if you will, that allows us to be able to move in the nations, to be able to help others to move in the nations, and where we are onboarding many producers within Oxford for next year, but also we are becoming a greater support to those producers that we've been walking with for quite some time, who will now come alongside. They're not coming under NMM. I'm looking to establish people where they're supposed to be and let them go as big and stretch as big and as large as the Father. I'm not looking to diminish anyone by bringing them under NMM. But yes, we come alongside them. We provide support for them. We want to make sure that they have access to everything that they need. So please click that giving link and just be able to hear the Father and to give as generously as possible. So I love you all. I thank you for being with us on this journey. We're glad to be in your life's journey with you, watching you grow and stretch. And I am so grateful for all of you. So until next time, my friends, I love you all.
For more information on Nancy, please visit nancymccready.com or follow her on social media at NBMcCready.